Okay.
All right. I guess it's my turn.
Yeah.
Right?
We'll cut it right there.
So, my question that I'm going to present all you guys with today
Okay. All right. What are we
is
presenting to us?
what video game, whether it be a series or could become a series, would you like to see either get a sequel or a reboot? And I guess I'll go first since
Okay,
I'm
yeah.
the one asking the question.
Yeah,
so.
might as well.
So
Oh, you have some good games there.
the first one, it will be sort of a tie-in to episode 5 of Primal, because this is 6, right?
Oh,
This is 7.
this is 7.
This is 7. Okay,
Yeah.
so this will be. I think the last episode
Did we talk
of
about
6
it in May?
is when we talked about like our favorite protagonists and stuff like that. That
Yeah,
was 6,
okay.
right?
Yeah.
So this will be a sort of tie-in
Something
to
like
episode
that.
6.
We've had a lot of episodes.
Is a sequel to The World Ends With You, because a lot of people have sort of wanted it because it's just it's good. It's a self-contained game. And I don't think it's necessary, but I'd like to see it because one of the reasons why so many people are sort of anticipating it or kind of want that is because, well, one, people like seeing new things,
Mhm.
and we get a lot of sequels to long-running franchises. They would be kind of nice to see like something else that doesn't get as much attention.
Yeah.
And also because I believe the game's director or creator or something like that had stated that he was writing like the story for a sequel or was working on it, but it just isn't being created right now or something like that.
So it's written. It's just they gotta work on it.
They just gotta work on it and get a team together or
It's
something.
usually the worst part of it.
And supposedly from things that I've heard, I don't know if this is true or not, because this is like going back to like middle school when I was hearing these things, is like it was supposed to be like a prequel to the events of the first game, which I don't know how well, I guess I could kind of
Would it
see
be
how that
called The
works.
World Begins With You?
Yeah, something like that.
No,
That's what like people would say. Although in Japan it's called, the Japanese name of the game is What a Wonderful Life.
So it would be like
What a terrible
Yeah,
life.
what a terrible life. What a horrific life.
That would be such a sad name for a game.
Buy it now.
Exactly. The second would be, knowing me and a lot of other people, a Mega Man game, because the last time they made a new Mega Man game, I believe this is true. Not just like a collection or
A
like
We're getting
another
a bundle.
collection, too.
Exactly. Not just that, but like last time they made a new Mega Man game was when I was 11 or 10 in 6th grade.
Now, do you think they can make a Mega Man game now with
With
Inafune?
yeah,
out there?
Inafune gone.
Yeah.
I don't see why not.
I don't see
I
why
mean,
not, because
it's Capcom. So
here-
they
the
don't
thing
care.
is, like,
So-
I do like Inafune a lot, but the thing is, he was just a director essentially.
Yeah.
And even though he's credited as being the creator of Mega Man, that's not necessarily true, because there was actually someone else on the team that designed Mega Man.
So it's like the Jap Kirby Stan Lee situation.
Yeah.
Where
yeah.
Stan Lee
Wrote
didn't
him,
he
yeah.
came up like he didn't come up with the look of Spider-Man. Jack Kirby came up with Spider-Man. Like, and all those other characters.
Yeah.
But Stan Lee's getting all the credit
But
because
gets all
Jack
the credit,
Kirby's
yeah.
dead. So may he rest in peace.
So it's sort of like that. The only character that I know for sure, and that's like not terrible, because as video games get bigger and bigger now. I mean, it was less common back then, say, because now there's people expect like huge design teams. So someone will be working on the art, someone will be working on like writing the characters, someone will be working on story, blah blah blah, and doing all that stuff. But as far as I only know, the only character that he not the only character, but one of the main characters that he designed for himself really was Zero. Like, that was his sort of main character, and that's also why, interesting fact, in Mega Man X, Zero, he wanted initially Zero to be the main character of Mega Man X, but Capcom was like, people won't recognize him, so we want
Yeah,
to
it's
stick
not
with
like
a
people
familiar.
recognize him now.
Yeah. Exactly. So I don't know what Capcom was thinking, but they were like, well, let's just stick with a familiar thing that has gotten us a lot of money so far. So they made it Mega still the main character, but now Zero is his partner essentially. And then that's also later on why Zero has his own series, the Zero series for the Game Boy Advance, because Inafune was like, I like Zero. He deserves his own game series.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would like that. I think they could honestly make it without Inafune because the Battle Network games, the Star Force games, I think. Actually, I want to just say this. I might be completely wrong, but I want to say X Series forward, he was just a director. He just sort of like oversaw things.
That's
and
good. Move on.
everyone else was just working on it.
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
think a lot of those games like Legends 2, Zero, Battle Network, and Star Force, I think those are all, I liked a lot of those games. So I think they could do it even without him being a director because I think most people at Capcom have had some experience working on Mega Man or something.
Either that or Resident Evil.
Exactly.
There's not much going on over there right now.
So I think they could do it. I just would hope that they would, put some heart into it, not just do it to sort of like, if they made it crappy or something, to sort of like spite Inafune or something like that.
Yeah. I do like the next game you have here, though.
Oh, yeah. So I'm a huge, I used to be get scared really, really, really easy.
Yeah. Well, these games are scary.
And so I like to challenge myself if I have a fear of something. Well, sometimes, not all the time. It depends.
Yeah.
So I wanted to get over my fear of like horror movies or scary things by making myself see those things more. So for like a whole 2 years or something, I watched nothing but horror movies and played survival horror games or just horror games in general. It didn't have to be survival
This was your
horror.
gothic phase.
Yeah, exactly. To overcome that fear, which I did. It was easy. But I really liked Silent Hill. I still haven't played 3, even though I really, really want to. But I'd really like them to do a reboot or sequel. It doesn't matter in any of these cases of Silent Hill, because that game, the series, at least initially when it was created, it's kind of gotten to a really bad spot now because the last one was like Silent Hill. It was a Vita game. It was like
yeah, I think
it was
like
a weird
early
like
on
multiplayer
Vita game.
It was like a multiplayer game or something like that.
Yeah, it was not very good.
Yeah, it was far from Silent Hill from what I've seen. But a lot of what Silent Hill is known for is psychological horror, sort of messing with your mind and sort of asking these like bigger questions, and having a lot of symbolism in the games, which I think is really awesome to be able to dig into a game and find meaning or purpose for it.
Yeah.
So I think that'd be really cool, especially with how Resident Evil with their newest game, they sort of took it a step back from the action and sort of just put the horror in the forefront of the game. So I really like Silent Hill to be able to just like
go back to its
get its like stuff together, sort of focus on telling a really, really good story, because I believe that's one of the reasons I was excited for the first Evil Within game was because I was like, this looks like older Silent Hill, I haven't played it. I don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
But I would really think that a new Silent Hill like that would be awesome. And I'm sure a lot of people are kind of would be interested in a survival horror game like that.
Yeah, I would definitely be interested in it. Those are one of those games that I'm like, I want to play it, but they're old, and I don't want to play it. I know, and old games don't.
It's weird.
Old games like that don't hold up.
I'd only played the first Silent Hill game. Never
Yeah.
finished it, but I remember playing it at a friend's house for like a couple hours, and I remember like it being like just really dark, and if I remember right, it's like snowing out. And
Yeah.
It's foggy.
and
There's that Wii one.
Oh, I played that.
That's the one where it's all snowy.
I played it on PS2. It was Shattered Memories. It was
But
trash.
yeah, it was
hot
the very first one though on the PlayStation, and I remember there was like a little dog house with like this evil dog in it, or then there was like a bus you could go in, and
Nice.
school bus, and
Very
I remember
classy.
Well, I mean, like I remember playing it and being just kind of terrified because like you couldn't really see anything because
Yeah.
the whole like fog.
And I love the way they did that though, because they did it because of graphical
The
limitations.
limitations,
And so they just had the draw
fog of war
distance.
kind of
Exactly.
thing.
They
Yeah.
just made the draw distance really, really close.
Yeah.
And they use that to their advantage. And it's so funny because if you look up like the Silent Team, the people,
Yeah,
the,
Team Silent.
yeah,
is that
Team
what they call
Silent, yeah, they were just a bunch of people. I remember watching YouTube videos of this. They were pretty much shunned at Konami because they were like either slackers or they were just really bad at their line of work or something. And so they
Well.
all grouped them into this thing and said, and they didn't really give a crap about them. And they were just like, make a game, do something, blah, blah, blah. And because of that, they were able to have all this freedom, and that's why they were able to make the Silent Hill
Yeah.
games. And another story that's sort of similar to that is how, and this is why I think it's good to not have limitations on work. Well, it's a double-edged sword. If you feel pressure, then it can convince you to work. Whereas if you're at free time, you also have enough time to put in whatever you want, essentially. But as what happened with Dark Souls, or more specifically Demon Souls, is that Miyazaki, I believe that's the creator of the Soul series, he came to this company or whatever, and they were just a really, really crappy company. And he was just working there. And then they were working on this game for a long time, but they just didn't know what to do with it. And they're like, blah, 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 blah. And he started pitching his own ideas and blah, blah, blah. And it became Demon Souls. And eventually Atlas published it, and it did fairly well.
That's
and
right. I always forget Demon Souls is published by Atlas.
Uh-huh.
and
That's weird.
So
And then eventually they formed From Software, right?
yeah, exactly. Well,
that-
no,
is
that
that
is
no,
From Software.
it's From
but
Software.
it was
Oh, they
originally
were
by
already.
Atlas-
They
by
already
Atlas.
were already that. Okay.
But I believe that was the company. Yeah, it was already From Software, but they were unknown at that time.
They weren't tied to a publisher or anything at the time. That's
And-
why
They're-
and Atlas was tied to PlayStation, so that's why when it was published, that's why it's on PlayStation only.
So they were a second party essentially.
Pretty much, yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, so they published
That game
the
blew up.
And
Yeah.
then and so because of that though, because he did really successful, they actually made him president of the company, even though he was like a new guy that just showed up. But because
So, hey,
he
you
was
gotta-
able to make them go from like, I don't know what games they had worked on prior to that, or if they had even completed a game before
Yeah,
that.
no, they have other games before that
Were
were like
they-
kind of leading up. Well, like they
Oh,
were
they're
completed
getting there.
games, and you could see like these games were kind of laying the building blocks and the components to the Soul series.
to Demon Souls.
Yeah.
And then eventually, yeah.
And so and then so since he took head of it as both like the head of the company, which is really weird, he was also the lead creator of the Soul series, so he was very in charge. Like that
Yeah.
would be kind of cool.
I mean, if you got great ideas, there you go.
Exactly.
There you go.
All right, so who wants to go next?
You want me to go and then you wrap
go
it up?
for
Okay. So mine, it took me a while to come up with it, and one of them I came up with while we were talking, not in the podcast, but I want another LA Noir. Like I was gonna mention it in the last episode, the last part, but it was only because I was gonna refer to it here. LA Noir was one of those games. Also, right after Red Dead Redemption, I immediately like it. It was I liked the story. That game was 4 discs long on the 360. Actually, yeah, I think it was 4, and I beat it all within a weekend because I was like, I just want more of the content. Well, it's also a really big thing. So I mean, you couldn't like drive around like GTA, but I feel like right now, since we have a console that's running 4K, obviously we have the ability to run games like that now. So, I want like a New York noir or something like that, or like some other city. I want cities that like don't like Seattle or something like that, just of cities that don't really get the credit, but I want like the noir feel to it again. That same time period.
Put it in like Chicago.
Yeah, I was
in the Chicago.
Chicago would have been
like,
cool too.
Mob scene, you know.
Yeah.
What I mean?
I also
Prohibition era.
the thing about the game, I never could do the interrogations. I never understood those at all. Like, because you had to read their facial expressions, you had to tell if they were lying to you, and they actually like computer generated it to, or not. They went in and critiqued it so much to the actors that when you were playing, you could tell in real life if someone was lying to you, which was really crazy.
Wait, really?
Yeah, they went in and tried to make it so realistic to it. And then yeah, because I just loved the new LA Noire, and it had a great ending to it. I liked it.
I was always interested in playing that game. I just
On PlayStation, it was one disc. That was always what was
It's
weird.
the Blu-ray.
Yeah, it was one disc long, but on Xbox it was 4.
It was like with Final Fantasy 13.
oh because the Xbox games
was
weren't.
DVDs.
It was still
yeah.
DVD until Xbox One.
Yep. And then the other one was The Wolf Among Us. I
You want
want
a
more of
sequel
The
to
Wolf
that?
Among Us. Like, I liked the Fable series. The comics are a little different. Like, they're just different because they're all over the place. They're like, you're following all different these characters. In the first comic, at least, it introduces everyone like they're kind of like all over everywhere. Because they want to introduce all these characters. In the game version, in the Telltale series, it was like, you're focusing on Big B. This is the main character. You are Big B. Focus on this. And then you kind of have, this relationship with Snow, and then Snow White, obviously. And that was the other thing. I'm a big Disney fan, so it's like, I immediately liked every character in this. This is the adult versions of all these characters. You have Mr. Toad, you have all these other characters. And I just liked every time I met a new character, I was like, oh, cool, who else are they going to introduce? Like, who else am I going to unlock? There was a few that I was like, I don't know who that is. And then there was a few that were nursery rhymes, like Georgie Porgy was in there, and like all these other characters. And I really liked it. And then they left it on like this huge cliffhanger, and you're like, yep, 3 years later, like we still haven't gotten a game for it. I played that game on, I think I played it on Xbox 360, and I played it on Vita. That game does not work on Vita. It's so. The Vita can't run it. It's so much stuff, like, because it's the actual console version of it. So when it's running on Vita, it's like, it's hard to do it.
What happens? Like
It just crashes. It'll hard crash.
no, really?
Yeah, like I have to restart it.
Why did they even port it if it doesn't even work?
I don't know, but I will tell you, I finished it. So I finished it on the Vita because I liked playing it on the portable. I want Telltale games to come on Switch so I can play it on.
If it was portable, that would be amazing.
Yeah, it's great. But yeah, I want more of The Wolf Among Us. I want to see more of Big B and Snow and see how that relationship goes. Because right now we only have season 1, so all of my decisions mean absolutely nothing right now until season 2 happens, because that's how Telltale series works.
Why? Do you know why they haven't added anything?
Because they've been focusing on these. Well, I don't know. In my
On these
opinion,
big
they
licensed
focus on
ones.
the big licensed ones like Batman and all these other like Marvel. And,
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, I was always
right now.
interested in The Wolf Among Us because when I first saw it, I was like, "This is really cool."
yeah.
And yeah, now that you mention it, has been like a really long time. And then, like,
And they haven't even
a lot of
talked
the
about
other
it. There's not
games-
even anything on it.
that's weird.
Yeah, that's my only Telltale game I want more of. Like the Walking Dead was one thing, but after I beat The Walking Dead, I haven't gone back because I felt like that game could have ended on season 1. It could have been done, but I'm glad they continued making them. But like it was
That
could have been
was the
yeah,
story.
but
the set
this
story.
one was like.
You need to know.
Like this is a big moment. I need they ask a question, they make a reference to, and then they make a question, like they make you question, wait, what? And then you go, do you run or do you stay? Do you or it was like someone walks away, and so it's like, do you chase after them or do you stay where you're at? And then I chose, and so in 2 of my playthroughs I was like, I chased after him. And then in one of them I didn't, and it always ends the same. It just goes black screen, credits, and I'm like, dude,
And you're like, well, I guess
yeah,
I
I
won't
won't
know.
ever know. Like I'm waiting for Telltale, so
Oh.
that's one of the worst things. It's like I don't know. I'd never want to see Half-Life 3. I will tell you that much. But anyway, those are my games.
Okay. So I actually made a list of 5. I'll go into 3 of them, but I'll just give the other 2 real quick. One I think
Honorable mentions.
yeah, one of them I think would be just a new Rogue Squadron game, especially with you've got EA, working on them right now. And you use the Frostbite engine with it. I think you. Could
I
make a
mean,
really
we don't
good,
know that they're not working
I mean,
on
you
that.
they could come out with a really good Rogue Squadron game.
Yeah.
Okay. Another one, it'd be another Red Faction. I really enjoyed the very first Red Faction game. I didn't, and the second one was okay. I didn't play the third one that was like the
There's a
third person.
one?
I don't remember. I don't think it was called
It's
that.
the
Red
one on
Faction
Mars.
3.
Are they all on Mars?
Yeah, they're all on Mars.
Okay.
But I knew one of those because I really enjoyed those with the first one, especially when it came out, because it was something really different.
Yeah.
Just being able to literally destroy the environment.
Yeah, you
was
could take a truck
awesome.
and run it into a building
Oh,
and then
really?
like jump
Well,
out.
it,
and then,
yeah,
like,
well, it wasn't like that in the first one. The first one was just like a traditional first-person shooter.
Huh. The
And,
second one you can do it.
And you could do like there was like rock. If you could like look at a rock wall, shoot a rocket into it, and you can create these like tunnels and cave systems. And in the multiplayer, it was pretty fun because there was one map in particular that had this big open area that was like a pit, but it had these walkways that went across it, these like rock bridges, and you could shoot the ends of the bridges where it connects, and it'll fall into the pit, and you could just annihilate so many people if they were on that when you shot it down. It was really cool.
That's awesome.
But the ones for me that I think that deserve two of them I think deserve a second in the series because there wasn't one, and then the other one I think is just that it needs a full reboot. And so the ones that I think that deserve a second in the series, the first one is Jet Force Gemini. That's one I'm probably will hands down probably be my number one game that came out on the Nintendo 64. It was such just like this breath of fresh air. Third person shooter that was very unique in terms of the controls because it plays very similarly to a dual stick controller.
But it's on that banana one.
But it's on the Nintendo 64 where
Fingers.
like you aim and turn. Think of it like it plays exactly like the way dual stick controllers play now, except the sticks are opposite. Okay, so you're aiming with the left thumb. Yeah, no, it sounds weird now, but back then, like this,
No, I played games like that.
Dual sticks wasn't a thing. It wasn't a standard back then. So the whole move and aim like you do now didn't exist. So you would aim with the main stick in the middle, and then you would move forward and backward and strafe left and right with the D-pad. And that was how you played it, and it was really good. It's kind of hard to play that way now just because you're so used to the dual analog. With the Rare Replay, they switched it so you can play it like a normal dual stick.
Can you switch it back?
Yeah, I believe you can, but it's
after
like a decade of playing with dual sticks, it's annoying.
I was curious if they actually.
I believe
kept
you
it in there.
can, yeah.
That'd be cool.
And that game is it was bright, it was colorful, the soundtrack was amazing, the three characters were diverse, and each played very unique. A lot of replayability in with it too, because your characters upgrade, and when they upgrade, it unlocks areas you previously didn't have access to, and it allows other characters to go through. Because the game starts out and it starts like kind of each character, like this guy goes down this path, the dog goes down this path, and the gal goes down this path. But when you get to a certain point, everybody can go over the paths. It's like you start on this level, this world, the dog goes to this world, she goes. But later, when you can take the dog to his world, because he gets this like little tank body that can like hover.
The dog does?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know it sounds weird, but it's really cool.
Yeah.
He can get access in his levels that the
Kinda
male
like,
character didn't have access to.
So like the Lego games, like you got to play through the levels to unlock the characters, so you can come back
kind
and
of
go
like
play
that.
it again.
Yeah,
Okay.
kind of like that. But it was more involved with the story. Not so much as to go back just to get collectibles. You have to go to unlock other areas within the universe. And I really liked that game. And the multiplayer was really fun as well. Split screen 4-player multi co-op on that was really fun.
So that's fun.
Another one that I think deserved a sequel is Legend of Dragoon.
I thought I did get one. Oh, that's the one with the blue dragon on it, right? What's that one?
No, the one with the blue dragons, Blue Dragon.
Oh, that's right. They came out the same time.
The Legend of Dragoon came out during the end of the PlayStation 1's life cycle, and I remember there being rumors for years that they were going to make a Legend of Dragoon 2 for the PlayStation 2, but it never came through. And the nice thing about Legend of Dragoon is it took everything that Final Fantasy had made like a standard and in the RPG genre and just made it more interactive and fun. I know it sounds weird.
They took everything from Final Fantasy,
and
then they made it a game.
Yeah, pretty much. Because, like, in a regular, like in Final Fantasy 7, okay, you tell your character to attack, and they're all standing in their line, and he comes over, hits it, and bounce back, right? Well, it doesn't really happen in Legend of Dragoon. What happens is they go in and they do like a multiple attack thing, but it has a little button prompt, and you have to hit the button. You have to time it right for the attack. So you have to go like triangle, square. Yeah, it's almost like a little quick time event before they were called like quick time events.
Yeah.
And it would unlock more attacks and these bonuses and all these things, and it was more. It got you more involved in the game rather than just sitting here and spamming the attack button like you do in Final Fantasy games. Like I remember, like when they switched to Final Fantasy 14 and they had like the auto play feature where it was just basically your character started to attacks and everybody got all upset about it. I'm like, why? You just attack anyways, all the time anyways. Like you're just pushing less buttons now.
Yeah.
Until you needed to cast a spell, and then you just cast a spell. And then my second one, my third one, which I think deserves an actual reboot, is a series that I really enjoyed, which was the Siphon Filter series. For me on the PlayStation, those were those were the games. Those were the games that my friends and I would sit and play all night. It was this I don't want to say Metal Gear Solid-esque kind of game, but it did kind of have some stealth mechanics to it, and the gunplay in it was very fun. The tasers were the best part, because you would just taser somebody, and like, cause when you would shoot at the taser somebody, you see this wire like shoot out at them, and it would hit them, and then they start shaking and yelling, and if you did it long enough, they would catch on fire.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You had some problems back in that time.
I was in like 8th,
but you were playing Turok and skull crushing people, and you were playing
Turok. Turok would have been is a good one to read.
And then
Turok 2 is one of my
this
favorite games on 64.
all your games that involve like some
so
sort of
violent.
torture. Yeah.
But no, I have
Sat on my wallet so long.
You know, I have Siphon Filter as I bought it off the PSN again when they released it, and I remember playing it, and I had a really good time with it. I can't play it now because my PlayStation 2 is toast, or my PlayStation 3 is toast. But
you know, when you were,
it was really good. It's a really like the first one, especially with the animations, because it was fully cutscened. But the way it worked is the characters, you know, the game was in full 3D, but they didn't. I know this is gonna sound weird, but like the characters were animated, like, you know, in like Metal Gear Solid when they're talking, like they don't, like their faces don't move. Their faces moved,
yeah,
but their faces were kind of just like a blank slate with features, but then they had like an animated. I know it sounds weird, like you have to see it.
It's all I picture.
You have to see it.
All I
It
picture is those Quizno characters. You remember in Quizno subs they had those little hamsters?
Yeah,
and
with
then,
It's not. No, it's not like. It's not
picture.
like that though.
I know, but I'd like to picture
But
it
it
like
looked
that.
like I'm gonna load you up a cutscene later, but it was basically just like a blank face because like the jaw didn't move or anything like that.
Yeah.
It was just a mouth that was and eyes that were just animated, and they went to the words, fully voice act, and the quality of those games were really up there. And I really think that, especially think of them like they were like Splinter Cell for the PlayStation 1. Okay.
Okay, was it Splinter Cell on PlayStation 1?
No.
It was on PlayStation 2?
It was on. No, I think was it Xbox?
Yeah, it was Xbox.
It was Xbox.
Oh, that's right. The first one is an
Yeah.
Xbox exclusive.
Uh-huh.
That's right. I forgot about that. I think the first and second one are.
It
Aren't
was
they?
those
Probably,
kind of
yeah.
stealth combat
That's
kind of
weird.
game.
I own one of them.
That's weird that was an
So-
exclusive game.
Yeah,
when you were-
not so much as stealth as like say Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah.
But it was, you know, there were bits where you can run and gun. And,
When you were mentioning your games, I also thought of one more. This is my third game.
yeah,
Death Junior. I want another Death Junior game. Have you played Death Junior? I
I've
played. It was
never
on the
heard of it.
PSP. It was on the PSP. Great game.
Yeah.
You played as Death Junior, and you went. Death Junior goes to like this high school, and so you see all of these characters like Pandora. I think is either your girlfriend or the girl you like, or she is a character in the game. And then there's like all these I think characters that are based on the Deadly Sins. I think.
This sounds like a cool game.
It's a really good game. And then to make things even better, like during that time frame that I had Death Junior, it's kind of if I remember correctly, I haven't played it and I haven't even seen it in a long time. It reminds me, I think it was kind of like a God of War type game. I
In terms
kind
of
of
its
think.
mechanics,
Yes.
hack and slash.
Yeah, it was third person. You had your scythe. You could do your thing. And I think you had special abilities. I can't remember. But anyway, there was a. Do you remember on MTV? They did music videos with video game characters. Do you remember this? Okay, so they did this. Here's what makes things even better for this game. So, what's that song? You're gonna know. I don't want to butcher their name. The one that's like everyone knows the. Oh God, it's I don't want to hum it because I don't want to butcher it.
Do you
What's
know
a
the
lyric?
lyrics?
What's a lyric?
Evanescence.
Evanescence.
Evanescence, yes, the one they're at the building, the skyscraper.
Yeah, and she's like
That-
falling and singing.
Yeah, you know that
Yeah.
song. What's that song called?
I have no idea.
Okay, but you know what I'm talking.
Their most popular one is like
Yes.
"Bring Me to Life" or whatever.
Yeah, the most popular
Yeah,
song.
where it's like, "How can you see into my eyes?"
Yes,
like,
exactly that song. They did Death Jr. characters just in an area. They didn't do the music video over again. They just did that song with those characters. And so Death Jr. was the rapping part, and
Oh my God.
Pandora was the one singing. And it was
Nice.
so well done because it looked like a music video. It looked like a full-on music video. I have tried to look for that on
Oh, you
YouTube,
can't find
and
it?
I cannot find it. I haven't looked for it for years now, but I remember I searched for that on several occasions trying to find it. So if you know where that is, put in the link in down in the comments. But yeah, that Death Jr. I would love to see like come back, even if it was just a PlayStation title, because it was a PlayStation game, and I think it was PSP exclusive, which was really weird. But yeah, I would totally buy that game. I'd buy a PlayStation for Death Jr. Because I think they did make a Death Jr. 2, but you might as well just reboot it.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's gonna end it. Any final words?
No.
Okay. It's been a
Not
long
really,
episode.
it's
This is
been
almost
long.
a 2.5 hour long
Been a
episode.
really long one, yeah.
Yeah. It's that E3 one. We had to
Yeah.
get it out there though. We
Yeah.
had to get it out there.
That's true.
I was almost tempted just to do the E3 one by itself and
Yeah.
then do another topic as the other thing, but anyway, it's not worth it now. It's been a long day.
Yeah.
But it was a good one. It was a good one.
Mhm.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you have just been listening to Bitcade. There's the
Are
yeah.
we supposed to like drop?
Yeah,
drop
every
the
time.
beat?
Okay, hold
Drop
on.
the beat?
Hold on. Don't do it on the first one.
Okay.
Now, when I say it again,
Uh-huh.
you're going to go Bitcade, okay? You have just listened to Bitcade.
Bitcade.
Like that, okay? You got it?
Mm.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, you just listened to Bitcade. It has been an amazing journey down this road. We have talked about E3. We have talked about the consoles that led us into the games that we love today and led us into doing and talking about shows, making a talk show, and also games that we want to see as a reboot and things like that. Make sure you definitely hit the subscribe button. There's a little end card at the very end where it has our logo, and you get to click on it and it subscribes to us right here on YouTube. Plus, there's a link to the last full episode and a link to the newest video that's ever posted on Primal Target. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Make sure you follow us on the links all down below, also on Twitch. And yeah, thank you, David. Thank you, Quinn. It's been quite a journey this day,
It's been a long one, yeah.
but it's time to end it. Thank you so much. We'll see you guys in the next video. Good night, everyone.